Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. With MajorManiak getting benched to the Minnesota Rokkr yesterday, there's been plenty of discussion. What does this mean for the roles on the team? Feeling, of course, disrespected as a result. And Shotzzy believing that actually benching MajorManiak was probably the wrong decision in this situation. Very much intrigued your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new as always. I'll greatly appreciate it. Really up to the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. I have to mention this, guys, because it's just too good to make up, to be honest. This is probably Gersh's best work, to be honest. It's been a while coming, but it's finally arrived. This has 27,000 likes on Twitter. The original tweet was this, if you guys didn't see it. FaZe Blaze tweets the following out. Subliners say gaming, and then he says, you know, what version is running the Subliners account. And then he tweets this out with Gersh with, I guess, FaZe Blaze's sister. Like, I guess this is his actual sister. And Gersh drops the ask your sister on, like, the official brand account for the Subliners to, like, 27,000 likes. So this is absolutely phenomenal stuff. This is going all over the place, going absolutely crazy. So, you know, you've got to give it to him. It's an uncommon WURSH, but it's a, you know, it's a WURSH nonetheless. No doubt. Let's dive into this then, just to mention real quick actually, because Yuli says, like, it was just discussion the last couple of days about the kind of cheating scandal that went on around the Stallions team. Like, I'm pretty sure at the time they might not even have been known as Stallions, but of course that one clip came out from a few months ago that effectively got Zuma to drop them as his kind of challenger's team, and there must have been some people wondering, okay, would they actually face any further repercussions from this? I think they've kind of released a load of footage to show that, like, that was kind of a one-off isolated incident, but I think they kind of are not going to face any further repercussions from the league or anything as a result of this, right? So kind of interesting stuff, but yeah, let's just crack on with this. Talking about ranked play real quick, as Dashy says, gotta get rid of search in ranked play. This is absolutely terrible, but you know, speaking of ranked play, what are they going to do with it next year? Is it going to be any better? Are once again Treyarch going to implement it into the Modern Warfare game? This year's ranked play, in my opinion, is not perfect by any means. It certainly leaves a lot on the table. Like, I'm pretty sure the World War II one, to me, was better than this, but still, it's much better than what we've had the last few years, so at least there is that as a positive, but Dashy doesn't like the fact that they're search and destroy. But speaking of ranked play, of course, that's some of the players were getting back into it last night with the new season coming through. There's new placement games, all this type of stuff. aBeZy says he won all his placements, got placed in Advanced 3. So I'm not sure exactly where Doug Sent Martin is, because right now there's no there's like a hidden SR, but you only see the actual ranked play leaderboards in maybe a week or so's time. So Doug's still grinding hard. I'm pretty sure he said he wants to be #1 for the entire season. But yeah, somehow aBeZy gets into the orange rank, even though he won all his placement games. So kind of a confusing situation, to be honest, with ranked play. I don't understand it. It's far from perfect, to be honest, this format, compared to what other games have. But you know, still, it's better than what we had, let's say, in the original Modern Warfare, when it was just like the CDL playlist where there was no ranking at all. You just got to play the CDL maps and modes. Wasn't all that good. Now, speaking of ranked play, Priestahh was playing it a little bit, and there was some talk, okay, what are the roles going to be on this Minnesota Rokkr team? Yesterday, I kind of theorized, is Priestahh going to be the flex? Is Attach going to be the main? They reckon it's actually the other way around. So Huke and Standy as your SMGs, Priestahh as the main AR, and then Attach as the flex, effectively. Now, you know, that's what Priestahh says right here. Then again, he also goes on to say, and Octane kind of confirms it, that, look, there isn't really much difference between the kind of AR and the flex in this game. There's maybe a few hills on some maps where the flex will pull an SMG. That's probably going to be Attach's job, but in most situations, Priestahh is going to be the one with the auto in hand all the time.
Zuma leaked the PL is running main and Attach on the flex. Yeah, Preston's running main. That is the case.
Yeah, I'm gonna be running the main. I mean, in this game, to be honest, the flex is like, bro, the flex pulls out an AR for like 1-2 hills. Like, the flex pulls out stuff for like barely any hills anyway. But yeah, no, I'll be running main.
So theoretically, this team does. The pacing should be better on this squad. I think maybe the hardpoint could improve to some degree. We're going to have to see how it works out, right, with Huke in instead of MajorManiak. But Maniak getting benched was a big question mark really throughout the entire community. People do rate Major very highly indeed, as search and destroy, especially his leadership on the team. We talked about a few reasons why they might, kind of miss his presence on the team effectively. And if they don't perform at the Pro-Am, they made it also clear that they might make an additional change. But this is his initial tweet. I not only feel disrespected, but let down by those around me. Not sure what's next, but I'll elevate even further from this situation yet again, because he got benched last year, then he comes back, wins an event, then this year he gets benched once again. And there has been some discussion, look, was this actually a good idea? Should they have benched MajorManiak? Should they have done something else? Like, it's difficult to say. So Shotzzy and Doug were kind of letting their thoughts be on this on stream last night, and Shotzy's opinion to me is kind of interesting, because he basically says, look, I think it was a mistake for them to drop MajorManiak. I'm pretty sure, well, he reckons that the pressure of, you know, being kind of, well, everyone, the whole community was talking, okay, Minnesota, they've got to make a move, like team coaches, the flag, kind of fans in general were kind of pressuring them to make a move, that's kind of why they made a move. And he reckons that if there wasn't that kind of pressure, they might have stuck with their roster. Of course, they did win with this roster last season, and he reckons that if they kind of stuck it out, like just kind of worked through their issues, because Shotzzy's got some experience with this right at the start of, I guess, Dallas Empire Modern Warfare, when they certainly struggled. He wasn't great individually, but the team still saw like faith in him, of course, and he was very new at that point, kind of a different scenario to MajorManiak and Minnesota Rokkr, because they were all experienced, established players, whereas on Dallas Empire at the start of Modern Warfare, Shotzzy was kind of the new guy. Like at Crim and Clay had confidence, give him some more time with this team, we're going to make it work, rather than kind of like, you know, getting a little bit trigger happy based on some early poor performances. But Shotzzy's like, look, he reckons they should have stuck it out, and if they did, he thinks they can get top 4 champs. But of course, they're probably not looking for top 4.
My take on it is like, if I'm MajorManiak, you always gotta put yourself in their shoes, right? So like, if I'm MajorManiak, I got benched for Standy, and then I get put back in for Lamar, and I win a major, and then I get 4th the champs, and then like I was even talking to Eli about it. He was like, Mike was like, it's not like Mike wasn't it's not like Mike wasn't playing good. Like, it's just like, it is what it is. Like, sometimes changes need to happen. So he probably just feels like because he got benched, came back in, won an event for the team, like he's probably doing everything right. He's probably like working really hard. He's probably like trying to do his best. He's probably playing pretty good. So for him to like be the odd man out again, probably like hurts him a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the way I see it, at least.
Yeah, no, I definitely see that. 100%. The way I look at it is like, I feel like nowadays, dude, if people aren't performing, like I swear, there's so many people that like just say a change needs to be needed. When I feel like if the core group were just to like grind and do their thing, like they'd be chilling. But instead, like since they underperform and everyone's saying, oh, they need to switch, and then you know, and then the players see that, and then like they're like, holy shit, we need to switch. Like I swear, if there was no one like saying they need to switch, I feel like they would even like do this roster change stuff. I mean, it's the same thing with like I was getting MW, like, you know what I mean? Like my team believed in me, and you know what I mean? Like they didn't, oh, we have to make a roster change. Like it wasn't like I got good like instantly. It took me time. Dude, nah, I'm telling you, dude, if they literally suck it out, like it probably would have worked out. Like bro, it takes time, dude. Like people literally look for like the immediate like success so fast sometimes, bro. Search and destroy. Like I genuinely think if they were to stick it out, they probably wouldn't be like top 4 like within a couple of months. I could see them getting top 4 at champs.
So maybe Shotzzy is right. If this team stuck it out as a 4 and they don't drop MajorManiak, right, and what he brings to the team, because certainly there are pros and cons to this situation, right, with getting rid of him and, well, bringing him back. Of course, the Tactical is this 1v1 to win Minnesota Rokkr and complete the ultra reverse sweep, 4-0 down to 5-4. And that's the thing with Minnesota Rokkr. They've won a championship now. Like, they won the Stage 5 playoffs last year with this team of 4, of course. And, you know, they want to get back on top. They're not going to be happy with the top 4. That's the thing. Like, Shotzzy is probably, well, thinking of a fair point, right, in the fact that, yes, look, if this team does turn it around, and let's say they do become a top 4 team towards the end of the game with this current team of 4, that's a pretty good position in theory, given where this Rokkr team are at the moment. But of course, they're not looking for top 4, right? Like if this was a team like a Paris Legion or something, they'd be rather happy with the top 4, you would imagine. But you know, Minnesota Rokkr, they're only looking for championships, right? And that's what Brian Tate made clear. Like, they're not going to make a move that you know, they don't think is going to take them to that point. And even if it is a bit of a risk, they certainly want to, well, take a chance at least to become the best team in the game, as opposed to, well, not even making that attempt, right? And you've got to respect it, because I feel like that team of 4 with MajorManiak was never going to be like a top squad. This new squad, you know, I also don't think it's going to get to that point, but it has more upside potential, I think, than the previous one. But that is also some of the big discussion, right? The fact that they won this game down 4-0 to make the comeback to 5-4. Lots of people have praised MajorManiak very highly for his composure, his kind of like ability to create these incredible moments with the reverse sweeps, right? And without him, they probably don't make this happen. So for a few reasons, some have been suggesting maybe this is the wrong move. We'll see how it goes for them, of course, at the Pro-Am Classic, as they're going to play a few games. We'll see how they fare. If they make it it to the bracket. We'll see how they do against some of the best teams as well with this new roster. But if they fail to make it out of the groups, they might well make another change. Like Brian Sate made it clear there was another team that they were looking at, right? And maybe that was involving MajorManiak, maybe it wasn't, maybe it was even with another player. But that's the thing, right? If Priestahh is your main AR for this team, then, you know, why not minus Priestahh plus MajorManiak in theory, right? If that's how they're going to go and attach is going to be the flex, then maybe just minus Priestahh plus a Havoc is going to be the option. So we'll see how it goes for them. But if Priestahh's going to be the main, then it definitely leaves the door open for MajorManiak to potentially come back at some point if this team underperforms. But of course, he's made it rather clear he feels somewhat disrespected, and maybe the internal friction there might be too strong this time around. Just to mention real quick though, because of course, well, this is the Prime Classic, kind of, well, the early group stages that they're going to be playing in. So Minnesota Rokkr played their first game up against the Toronto Ultra Academy. Again, no, actually, they played their first game against the Florida Mutineers. That's on the Thursday. They then played Toronto later in the day, and then they play Octane on the Friday right here. So there's 3 relatively difficult games. If they beat Florida and they beat the amateur team, they should make it out of the groups. We'll see how that goes. This also is their kind of schedule for the Toronto Ultra Major 3. There are, you know, regular group stage matches. These aren't as hard as some other teams have. They play LAG and they play LA Thieves on the very first weekend. Next week they play Toronto and then the Mutineers, right? So honestly, like, not easy matches by any means, but like, you know, more feasible maybe than some have been. And then their final game is up against FaZe. So it's once again a pretty difficult time for the Minnesota Rokkr. Certainly their last team would probably go like, you know, 1-4, 2-3 here with the terrible map counts and start in losers. So they're going to have to try and turn things around. They need the points. Just thought this is pretty funny as well, actually, because Dashy's been playing a fair bit of Valorant lately. There's this kind of new agent called Fade that comes in, and yay, like the Optic Valorant, especially the star player for that team effectively. He says, welcome to the team. Bet what time for practice at Chet, who's the coach of the Valorant squad. And I was like, look, what are you talking about, mate? We've got to focus up here and actually practice on some Call of Duty stuff. This I thought was pretty funny actually as well here from Slasher, because the last few years there's been this discussion, okay, is it a good idea? Like, do you want to be jacked as a COD pro or should you not? Because Doug's obviously pretty jacked. Like, Slasher's been spending a lot of time in the gym, but I'm pretty sure Scump even said that, like, when he was working out a lot when he was younger, he actually was worse at Call of Duty then than he was when he, you know, put on a bit more weight and didn't really care about the gym so much. So it's a bit of a weird one, because in theory, like, you know, going to the gym should sharpen the mind a little bit, should make you a better player. Attaches, you know, lifting weights in the morning, no better way to start the day. And Slasher reckons that I wish I could go then, but I'd get turned on in scrims if I lifted in the morning. Got to get those hands stronger. Now, as Slasher reckons as well, with aBeZy taking his talents to Warzone, I'm currently the strongest, buffest CDL pro. Some people are like, okay, prayers, can he give Slasher a good run for his money? aBeZy had dunked it to Martin, were my only competition. Now I see no threat at all. So interesting, right, you know, how this is going to work out. I know Slasher's been hitting the gym pretty hard as of late. This also is pretty funny here from Lyman. I don't know where he gets all these images from, but he has them saved up on his hard drive for some reason. And again, Slasher's like, I legit can't play COD after lifting. Don't know how people do it. But as Lion goes, you know, which Scump won more events? I'm pretty sure it was the Scump on the left. I think he used to say things about like the calluses on his hands he'd get and stuff from lifting made it, you know, worse to game. So yeah, Scump was pretty jacked back in the day. But I think in terms of championship performances, non-jacked Scump actually has better results. So there's a, you know, I'm sure lots of research to be done on this match if you guys are interested to look into it. I thought this funny as well, actually, to finish off the job here with it, you know, BenJ and Asim hitting a putt. But it's been rather a long time since this has been a flank episode. So, you know, hopefully sometime soon. Very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on the like button. Tells you YouTube gods that this is a good video. And it's like you should see it as well. And I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you as always. Take care of yourselves. And I will see you next time.